Welcome back, everyone, to Lore of the Shadow, where I have arrived here at Grimbold's camp, and I presume that this is Grimbold here, to inform him what has transpired over in Dunland.
Theodred has come back to us from his study of the Dunlanding clans.
Oh, Theodred has returned to us from his study of the Dunlanding clans, and his news is worrying. He tells me you are the one who escaped from Isengard and spoke of the army that you saw being trained. We'll need your help if we are to hold this crossing against Saruman. He commands both Dunlandings and Uruks, and we must keep all of them on this side of the river, out of Rohan. Familiarize yourself with the situation here, friend. Find the map table southeast of here in the camp and see where we plan the movements of our forces. I would also like you to speak with Trumbald on the north side of the road north of the camp and learn what he has seen here today. Speak also to Kirsten, Theodred's esquire, on the western side of the Isen, south of here. He has been running messages back and forth across the fords as needed. Once you have done these dealings, find Theodred somewhere in this camp. He's reacquainting himself with the situation here as well. Alright. So, Theodred is learning what needs to be learned. And I am to read the map table. That is right over here. This table is used by the Rohirrim to plan their strategy and movements. Okay. Everything that we need. But that, of course, will become important later on. But for now, I think it's time for us to check in with the two subcamps. Ah, here's Strumbald. He's further along the road than I anticipated.
If Saruman does have an army, he's keeping it inside Isengard for now.
I think that those stories of the army must just be tall tales after all. Were you really imprisoned by Saruman? There have been some arguments amongst my men about that. Yes. And how many Uruks did you say? By the Hammerhand! He does have an army! Aha. Well, now let's go and speak with the herald or squire or whatever his title is. Ah, here we are at the ford. And here is Kingston. Hello there.
Oh, hello there. I'm Prince Theodred's esquire.
Ah, and you must be Pinelore. Right now, Theodred has me bringing messages back and forth across the ford, getting the men on the other side organized for the defense of the bank. Someone has taken one of my bracers, and I think they may have hidden it somewhere. It is no fair idea of a jest, I suppose. Nay, don't bother looking for it. It will turn up eventually. Wonderful. This place is full of practical jokes at a time like this. Welcome again, Theodred.
I am devising a plan, and once all is ready, I want you to be a part of it.
I am glad that you have come. I would have welcomed any of your ranger friends as well, but I understand that they have their own mission. I wish them well in it. Enough talk, though. It is time to strengthen my forces. They will have need of strength in these days to come. All right.
We know that Saruman has a much larger force of Uruks than we do of men.
Grimbold estimates that each one of us is worth at least 20 Uruks, but he is from Grimslade, and the men of that place are not known for their mastery of numbers. I fear that he underestimates the savagery of Saruman's forces, and then there are the hostile Dunlanding clans to consider. Athelard has gone to the Ayat in the middle of the river to train some of the men. There they have seen to be less combat than others, and they have much to learn of that they can do at helping during the real battle. Go to him and help to train these youths. Oh, well, I hope this goes better than the training that I did for the Dunlendings. Ah, here's Athelard. Hello.
These men need to be stronger. I need to make them stronger.
Find a warrior and an archer and fight with them, Pinelore. Perhaps your example will teach them something. Okie dokie. Well, here is one of the warriors. Hello.
I am ready to show you the strength of my arm.
I have sharpened my skills against many of my kinsmen. Let me sharpen them further. Show me no quarter. There we go. Yep. Oopsie daisy. You have helped to strengthen the Rohan footmen. Okay. The game didn't dare show me him going into a weakness state, I guess. Well now, let's see what about this archer here.
If you believe you can best me in training, prove it is so.
Alright, I will prove it is so. Ready yourself for training. Alright, there we go. You have helped strengthen the Rohirrim archer. Oh, well. Oi! Saying, okay. This is how quickly I can defeat you currently.
Well, what do you think of their abilities?
Ah, are they made of stern enough stuff to stand against the forces of Saruman that you beheld within Isengard? Well, they'll have to do. You should find Ragnar and help him with the training of his riders. He's just on the north side of Grimbold's camp. All right, let's then go to Rungar. Ah, here's Rungar.
My men are practicing a technique to help them fight from horseback.
They're learning a technique that will snare their opponents. With careful aim, my men can ensnare their enemy's legs with the thrown net. It will then keep the foemen from attacking until our footmen can close at a distance. Gather up the nets that they've already thrown and bring them to me, Pinelore, and I will give them to new riders. This is something that they must master if they are to be as effective as we must be. Alright, so let's go and collect some nets. There we go. Okay. So they're learning their approaches. Well, it looks like that they're hitting their mark at least. That's good. I mean, if the nets were scattered all over the place everywhere except at the dummies, I think I'd be a bit more concerned.
Very good. Their skill throwing the nets is improving with each pass.
Once they have mastered this skill, we would be better prepared to face any unmounted foe that comes. Theodred will wish to see you again. He's somewhere in the camp to the south, I expect. And tell my friends that the riders are becoming more skilled at the technique that he suggested, and that I have some craftsmen working on more nets. Okay, because we will need quite a number of those, I suspect. Well, back to Theodred. I have reviewed the training.
We need every man to be ready, for what I have in mind is dangerous.
Your news is welcome, my friend. We need those men, for what we're about to do is dangerous. But the reward, should we prevail, could be significant. If we wait until Saruman's army is ready, we cannot hope to hold this fort against them. We don't have the men. Your report of the size of Saruman's forces has it much larger than I had feared. If we can catch him before he's ready, we might strike such a blow that his forces will be sent into disarray. He is wise, yes, and is the wise man not cautious? He will see that he has been taken in by surprise, and he will retreat behind the walls, and that he will continue to grow his army until he's certain that he cannot oppose him. Every day that goes by is a day in our favor. The size of his army is of no account as long as he stays within Isengard. Let us stay there forever. We must take him uncertain about his success, and then he never moves it. Now, that is my proposal. If you are willing to help us, Grimbold has asked that you ride with him. Okay, so back to Grimbold. And that would be up here.
Prince Theodred's plan is a daring one, but there is wisdom in it.
Theodred is like his father in this. He doesn't shy away from using his strength where it is necessary. I'd like you by my side during the daring strike, Pinelore. We will plant the seed of doubt in Saruman's mind, and he may think twice before sending his army forth. All right?
Prince Theodred's plans are set forth on the map table. We
St-
begin at dawn.
Study the plans to acquaint yourself with them. We'll begin at dawn on the 25th. We will strike Saruman hard and fast, and use his own caution against him. So long as he thinks that his army is not ready to march and must remain behind the walls of Isengard, it will be of no threat to Rohan. Okay, so this is the 25th. The 25th. Now let's study the map and see what this plan is. You study the map placed upon the table and consider Theodred's plans. First, he must determine what defenses to leave at the fort of Isen, and then he will ride north to Isengard with a host of riders. The attack will begin at dawn on February 25th. So let's go.
Dawn came swiftly on the 25th of February, as my prince prepared to conduct his daring strike.
A swift dawn in February. That's unusual. I hope that you have awakened refreshed by Nora. I doubt not that this will be a long day. I have a few matters left undone, which might be resolved. Then we will ride. I will need my men by my side in Isengard, but we must not leave the fort undefended. Who do you have in mind to command the riders that we leave behind? Kata was my first choice. His brother Edwig already spoke to me, desiring a place in our host. Their mother is old, and if our attack on Isengard goes ill, I would not deprive her of both her sons. Come, Pinelore. We will tell Kingston to deliver this message. I'm sure he'll love it. My prince. Alright, so let us go to... Oh. Kingston, is there something wrong? Nothing. I misplaced one of my bracers, that's all. It will turn up, I'm sure. I need you to cross to the east bank with a message to Kata. Tell him that he is to remain here with his men and to hold the forts against whatever may come. You want him to stay here? I will tell him, but he will not like it. Kata is a man of Rohan and will understand what is needed of him. I will not advance through the front gate to victory while leaving the postern gate open to the enemy. Someone must stay to hold the ford in the event that I misjudge Saruman's mind. You should go with Kingston and deliver my words, Pinelore. Kingston is untested in battle, and the men see him still as a green boy. That may explain the jokes. Kata may be less bristly towards my esquire if you are there as well. I need a word with Athelard before you go. He is not pleased with the quality of the spears that we have, and it may be too late to make some more. They will have to suffice, though. Yeah. Athelard, where are you? Alright, well, while he does that, I will speak to Keenstein here. I hope you don't mind getting your feet wet again, Pinelor. Kata is on the east bank of the river, and the stones can get treacherous. This way. Alright. Stepping stones. You have been to some battles, one or two. Of course you have. May I ask you a question? You have come a long way from your homeland, and you have seen a great deal of danger. These battles in which you have fought, when you were embroiled in the thick of them, were you frightened? I cannot ask this of my men. They would think me a coward. But I'm already frightened, and we have not even yet begun to march. Well, probably the anticipation more than anything else. Well, I will be with Theodred, and he never knows fear. I could not bear to bring shame upon my family or to my prince. Thank you for listening, friend. I will follow your example and not give in to these doubts. All right. Kata, are you here? You're to remain here with your men to hold the ford. It is the will of the prince. I should not be left behind. My place is at the front of the column with my prince. I will do as I am commanded, but I wish it were unnecessary. My men will hold the fort against whatever comes, as my prince desires. But I think that we wait here uselessly, while our brothers and our friends ride into battle against the armies of Saruman. I understand the need of it, but I chafe at the need to and do not want to sit here in idleness while the Prince Theodred rides into danger. Gather to me, men of Rohan. We have our orders, my friends, my brothers. Our prince rides forth to see the enemy with his own eyes. He leaves the defense of the home and his people in the hands of those that he trusts. Our hands. He puts a spin on it, all right. I guess that's the job of a commander. I did tell the prince that Kata would not be happy with staying here. You heard me tell him that. I'm going to stay here for a few minutes and see if I can find my missing bracer. You should cross the ford again and tell the prince about that the ford will be defended while they are away. All right, there we go. Back to the other side while he looks for a bracer. There we go. And there we go. There we go. There we go. Over the ford. Over the river. Fortunately, we don't have to go through the woods. I don't think we have to, right? Nope. We just have to go through this ayat, I guess. Alright, I'm back. Message delivered. All is ready then. Kata will hold the east bank of the ford with the men in his command, and the rest of us will ride north to Isengard. The Aelred will follow my lead, and Grimbold will dismount and command the foot as a separate unit if the terrain off the road warrants it. Athelard will call the mark for the archers. Okay. It'll be some time before we are in sight of Isengard. It is best that we get started. All right, let's continue then.
Prince Theodred left riders at the ford of Isen to guard the passage into Rohan, and he went north with a second group to Isengard.
We have begun our journey. It is a pleasant morning for riding Pinelor. If it stays this way, we will be at Isengard by midday, and have brought Saruman to our heels not long after. Let us catch up with the prince, and get a good view of the road ahead. Oh boy. Unfortunately, the regular mouse just have one speed. Very fast. Not as fast as the war steed, but also can't go as slow as a war steed either when the war steed needs to go slow. It makes difficult controlling my speed. My prince, what is the word from up ahead? We will know soon. I sent Hildred on ahead to scout the road. We are nearly there, Pinelore. I can smell the stench of Isengard even from here. Look, our scout returns. Prince Theodred! There are orcs and half-orcs outside the walls, but their numbers are not great. We have taken the wizard unawares. Perhaps? Don't celebrate yet, Hildred. The battle is still unfought. The news lightens my heart, but we must not forget that Saruman is devious. This strike will remind him that we are not to be lightly set aside, and that he is not immune from attack. Any more than that is more than that I expect. The dawn has passed. It will be midday when we move to the next stage of my plan. Ready yourself for what comes next. What will come next? That'll be for the next episode of Lore of the Shadow.